Do you need common interests for someone to really click with you or for a really good relationship to form? I'm here to tell you no. So I thought this for a long time and I used it as a reason for why certain interactions didn't go well, or I approach someone and it doesn't work, or certain girls I didn't click with, or certain people I didn't click with. And it may be a part of the issue, but I'd like to argue that it is not completely necessary. I recently talked with a man, part of this brand called You Mentory, and he goes around the country and he interviews couples that have been together for a variety of years. Uh, Many have been married for 30, 40, 50 years. One of his big purposes for this mission is to really show the world what true marriage and love is like, not what Hollywood and pop culture has depicted it to be like. And he's recorded all these interviews and put it up on his SoundCloud and his Facebook page and his website. And it really shows a different version of love and relationships from what you have grown up to expect from just watching TV. Anyhow, I asked him a question and I brought this issue up, and he pretty much told me how you do not have to have common interests. Sometimes these couples did not. What's important is an openness to be willing to learn and be exposed to new interests. And he gave his own relationship with his girlfriend as a great example. I don't know how he even has a girlfriend considering that he has to travel so much, but he says how his girlfriend was really into opera and Broadway. So she was performing for this, I think it was Broadway one day, and she invited him to watch. And he was not into this at all. I mean, he wasn't against it, but he never really got into it at all or heard anything about it. But he went and it just exposed him to a new interest, a new passion, and it wasn't like a feverish passion, but it was something where he could start understanding why this could be uh, of a great interest to someone like his partner. And so I think it's an interesting thing. And so I think it branches off into another great point, which he mentions. And he's mentioned this numerous times throughout. And what it was that great marriages oftentimes uh, were kept together through great friendships. These two people were the best of friends, and it's was an amazing thing to really think about. So, I mean, there's so much more to be said about this. He actually goes very deep into depth, and there's a lot of detail and a lot of feedback from couples themselves, from himself. He actually did a whole Ask Me Anything online where he opens it up to the community to ask him questions, and he goes into depth about all sorts of things that are important in a marriage: trust, communication, all these things that really will keep a marriage together. Some things that are surprising. And again, it's that as well as other books I've read. Um, I was reading this book on happiness called uh, Authentic Happiness, and towards the end, there's this great long passage on parenting and on marriages and relationships and which couples stayed together longest. And it really just inspired me to find some more books on this because there's certain things that are very interesting, and it reminded me of articles I've read that I really didn't follow up on. And these articles talked about other books that took scientific studies and observations of couples that lasted long and compared them to those who didn't. And they found very interesting, surprising things that kept the couples together from the ones who